This is Steve from Boxing UK. Delighted to be joined by David Diamante. How are you, David?
Steve, great to see you. I'm doing wonderful.
Last time we saw each other was in Newcastle.
Absolutely.
And you're back.
Yeah, great show in Newcastle. Lewis Ritson and the Geordie fans. The Geordies were great. Yeah, it was a great time. Newcastle's always a great time.
Yeah, Brentwood. Fightcamp again, David. You're back.
Yeah.
First one on Dazn, though. What do you make of the whole? Can you see any difference? It's game change. What do you know? Can you tell us any differences?
I think there's a lot of differences. I mean, it's the first one exclusively on Dazn because we've been on Dazn now for a few years, but exclusively on Dazn. And just different cast of characters, but it's just production-wise, but great people that I've worked with before, and everyone knows their position. Things are running very, very smooth. I'm really excited to be back. We're here in Essex, we're in Brentwood, we're gonna be at Maskell's at Matchroom HQ, Eddie's backyard, Matchroom Square Garden. We've got 3 weeks of fight camp, and this first week is it's quite a nice card. I mean, Sandy Ryan's turning over, got Anthony Fowler, Chris Billum-Smith and Tommy McCarthy's that should be a cracking fight. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing Lee Wood and Kanzu. I think that should be a cracking fight, and of course the main event, Conor Benn and Adrian Granados. Really looking forward to the main event, Steve.
A little bit of a plug for yourself, David. I know you've done a podcast with Adrian Granados. For people watching this, where can they find that?
Yeah, it's the Matchroom Boxing Podcast with David Diamante. It's called Matchroom Radio with David Diamante. That's the show. And it's just been a lot of fun, and it was great to talk to Adrian. He's a really great guy. And speaking of, just really quick, I want to give a huge shout out to George Hernandez, his trainer, because George is an amazing man that it's a legend in the Chicago boxing world, and he's saved so many lives. Some he's not been able to, but he's tried, and rest in peace, Ed Brown. I want to give a shout out, obviously to him, but George Hernandez does just a great job, and he's obviously training Granados. So, but yeah, Matchroom Radio, it's on Apple, Spotify, it's on YouTube now, which is great. So yeah, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Get to talk to a lot of these fighters. I think tomorrow we're gonna have Sandy and Dave Ryan. Yeah. And that should be really fun. Sandy, fighting out of Derby, and obviously Dave, former professional fighter. So it's a fighting family. And I think we might have Lee Wood on this week also, because he's fighting Zucan or Kanzu, however you'd like to say it. But I'm looking forward to all of them, all of their fights.
You've certainly sold it, David. You've earned your money there. Is there anything else in fight camp over the next couple of weeks that's really jumping out for you?
I think there are a lot of great fights, to be honest. It really, and I think there's going to be a lot of, we're going to see a lot of exciting things.
Yeah, I know there's some that haven't been announced yet.
Say again?
I know there's a few fights that haven't been announced yet.
Exactly. So just, sit tight, and there'll be some good stuff coming out. But yeah, I think all 3 weeks are really going to be great. There's no doubt. I mean, no one throws a party like Eddie and at his backyard, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So tune in on Dazn, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Good, man. Can I ask a personal question about you, David?
Absolutely.
Does your role change with the whole Dazn thing? Is anything different from you?
I mean, not so much. I mean, I'm announcing the fights, obviously.
Yeah.
I do my job. Still doing a podcast, maybe some different interviews, different stuff like that, but no, I mean, it's just, look, I love the guys at Sky. The guys and gals at Sky. I mean, they're just wonderful. And I love the people at the Zone. So me, I'm happy to be here and happy to be announcing.
Good, man. Can't have you here, David, without asking a couple of fights that have been announced. Have to ask you about AJ Usyk. Split down that we split Alex Krasiuk last week. 500% certain Usyk wins. Split at Eddie yesterday. AJ knocks Usyk out. Who's right, and what's your thoughts?
It's an interesting fight. It really is an interesting fight. I think that you have arguments for both, but I just believe that we have to wait and see. Yeah. And I don't like to call the fights when I'm going to be calling the fights. Yeah. But I think they're both quality fighters. I think Usyk does have stuff to prove at heavyweight. I'll say that. Yeah. After the performance against Witherspoon, performance against Chisora. But either way, he has a winning mentality. And then again, you've got AJ. I mean, look at his CV and look at what he does. And he's a real heavyweight. Not to say Usyk's not, but he hasn't really proven himself on that top level yet in the division. So he's got his work cut out for him. But it's a really exciting fight. It's a very intriguing fight. And I mean, there's no doubt that Usyk is a master boxer. So it's a fight that I can't wait to see.
Good man. And one thing that came up in the conversation with Eddie yesterday, we were talking about resumes. And Eddie obviously championed AJ, got the best heavyweight resume. Do you agree with that? Of the current heavyweights?
Of the current fighters? You can make a very good argument for that.
Non-committal.
I mean, you can make a really good argument for that. Yeah. I mean, look at his record. Look at the names on his ledger.
Yeah. Tyson Fury Wilder, and you're a proper boxing historian, David. You know the game as much as anybody. The cancellation. Will they fight? Will AJ fight Fury? Using your knowledge of what's gone on in the past and the politics of boxing, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, this is very hard to call because it just really depends on the outcomes of these fights. I don't think that Wilder Fury is 3 is a foregone conclusion. I don't think you can count Wilder out just yet. Just never know. That guy's got huge punch, and he landed really big shots on Fury in the second fight. Now they didn't seem to hurt Fury, which is pretty amazing because in the first fight they did. Yeah. Second fight they didn't. What happened? I don't know. I think you're going to see a different Wilder coming in. So, and I don't know how bad Fury's COVID was. So there's a lot of variables. We don't know what's going to happen with Usyk and AJ. So it's hard to say what's going to happen with Joshua Fury when you've got fights to happen before that. And then you've also got politics to, let's say both guys come through their fights, Fury and Joshua, you still have different entities to work out the specifics. And we're seeing that happen now with Canelo and Plant.
David, pleasure as usual. Lovely to catch up with you. Enjoy fight week, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you so much, Steve.
All right.
Absolute pleasure.
You're a star.